everybody, welcome to Journey with Jazz. This is Sunday Mornings with Mari, and I'm going to touch on how to find balance with a baby. So if you're a mama, you know balance is like our number one struggle. It's very difficult. We carry so many different things. We are responsible for so many different people, especially if you're married, especially if you serve like in a community group or your church or even at work. So, sorry, I gotta catch my breath. Finding balance, I think, is a lifetime pursuit. I'm not gonna say a lifetime struggle because I do think that you can master it. But with each season of your life, everything that you do that is new, you have to readjust and find balance in that particular season. So I'm just gonna touch on 5 different things that have been working for me. Although, like I said, it's a lifetime pursuit and every day is different. New things come up, new challenges come up, so you have to adjust it. But these are just kind of like consistent principles that I try to apply. So first, know who and what your source is. So as I said before, we're responsible for pouring, we're responsible for giving, for serving, for doing for others, and we often put ourselves last. And sometimes, oftentimes we feel deficient, like we're giving and giving, but we lack and we don't have anybody or anything doing the same for us that we're giving out. And it doesn't go to say that we don't have people who are supportive. If you're married, you have your husband and you have different friends and things like that kind of feel that for you, but for all that you give, you kind of still feel deficient. So you have to know who your source is. And for me, it is Jesus. So prayer, going to God, asking him to refill me, asking him to fill me with the Holy Spirit, asking for compassion and love and patience, asking him to give me more, because you can't run on E. So you have to go back to whatever fills you up. For some people it's meditation, for some people it's exercising, hanging with friends. You have to find what your sources that you can go to continually to refill. And like I said, for me, it's prayer. For me, it's reading my Bible just to remind me of who I am, what I represent, how God sees me, how he loves me. Because the more that I come into this realization, the more that I can give it to my child. God was patient with me. He has grace for me. He gives it continually. Are you spelling that? Let's turn it this way. Yeah. And that just helps me gain perspective when it comes to the day-to-day duties of being a mama. The second thing is be the boss of your baby. Don't let the baby be the boss of you. So if your baby is from 0 to 6 months, that's pretty much impossible. Like, the baby does run your life a little bit to a certain extent. So especially if you're breastfeeding. So it's kind of difficult to kind of put your own schedule in with your... I'm sorry, I just got a text. Put your own schedule in with your baby. If you work, of course you have to do some stuff. But my point is, it comes a point in time where you determine the schedule for your baby. So, for example, when you're putting your child to sleep, when you want to get them up, get them ready, food, that's negotiable. They kind of run you with that because they're always hungry. Ain't that right? Especially the transition from the bottles to food. He's just always hungry. So he still kind of runs me with that. But what I'm saying is I had to implement a schedule, to get my schoolwork done, to, like I said, read my Bible, to do something fun, do something enjoyable, to do my YouTube. I had to do that in order to still accomplish my goals. And a lot of times, mamas, we have a hard time staying focused on our goals and the things that we want to do because we put the baby first. And you have to be intentional about still finding a balance with the things that you are working towards. I am what? In my last year of law school. You're looking at me like, Mommy, what you talking about? So I'm right in the crux of a very big goal, and so I have to just discipline myself. I have to find what works for me and allow him to adjust to it. Not find what works for him and I adjust to that, because he doesn't know that I need to graduate law school. You have to make that a priority. All right, so no more boss babies. The next thing I have is, I already said this, kind of, sort of. So with your tentative schedule, you're blotting out time for everything. So I actually have in my calendar from, like this morning, for example, from 7:30 to 9:30, I was studying. So Dre got Kamari up and got him his bottle and changed him. After that, I put him in his playpen and just let him relax, drink his bottle, and chill in there while I studied. The reason why I say tentative schedule is because, especially with a baby, like, you can't say this is what's going to happen and I don't care, I'm not changing it. Like, you have to be flexible. Of course, if, you know, he's fussing and crying in his playpen and I'm trying to study, eventually I'm going to have to get him out. Eventually I'm going to have to see what he wants and tend to him. I'm going to have to stop what I'm doing. But for the most part, especially if you have a schedule, it'll be routine. He'll be used to it, and you can kind of try your best to stick to that. So also, my goal for this week is to actually blot out time to spend with Kamari. And you might say, what? Like, you got to plan time to spend with your child? Yes, you do. Just like if you have school, just like if you have work, just like if you are in a relationship, you have to plan time to spend time with those you love. So, yeah, I mean, if you don't do that, then that will get swept under the rug. It won't become a priority for you. So you can say, oh, I'll just do it as I go along. But at the end of the day, are you able to give your child your undivided attention for a period of 2 hours, for a period of an hour a day, or, you know, at least a period within a few days? Because if you're working, if you're in school, that can be very difficult. And also, thank you, Lord. Also, one thing that I'm trying to do better is the times that I'm doing for him, feeding him, taking him to daycare. He's fussy today, y'all. Taking his bath. I'm trying to make that time that I'm spending with him too. And what I mean by that is, you might gotta rush to work. So you hurry up, take the baby's bath, feed him, get him in the car, and you're taking him to daycare. And while you're taking him to daycare, you're doing something else. Like, you're on the phone, which you shouldn't be while you're driving, or you're thinking about something. You're disconnected. You're not present with your child. And what I realize is, you can take that time. I can't even hear myself think. Get down. What's wrong? You can take that time to spend with your child instead of just doing for them, actually being with them. And so now on the way, when I take him to daycare, I sing songs with him. I sing ABCs. I talk to him. I'm actually present with him, not just doing something for him. And the same thing with taking his bath, the same thing with putting him to sleep, the same thing with feeding him, like taking as much time as I can to spend time with him while I'm doing for him. Because that's one thing that I struggled with. Like, I looked at raising him like another task. And I'm just being honest. Like, it was like another thing to do. It was like another thing on my to-do list. Like, oh, I gotta do this for Kamari. Okay, check. You know, instead of really spending quality time with him. And I know a lot of parents struggle with this. That's why I'm not ashamed to admit that. So what I had to do is just, if my day is so busy that I can't take 2 hours to just sit and play with him, every little thing that I'm doing for him, I'm making that something that I'm doing with him, not just a task to check off. Okay, this is a big one. Know your support. Know your support. And if you are a mom, you know exactly what I mean. You have to know who is there for you, your baby, and your family. You have to know who is supporting you, whether it be spiritually, mentally, financially, physically. Those people are priority in your life, period. Like, I feel like high school, college, of course you love your friends. Of course you love your friendships. You love social gatherings. You love hanging out. Girl time, that's my friend. They know I love some girl time. And I appreciate all those things and I appreciate all those people. But at the end of the day, you have to know who your support is, because the people who are supportive to your baby and your family are priority in your life. They are a priority. So that means you may have to take a step back and really examine the people who are your foundational support. The people who, when you don't have money for formula, you can call up and say, I need some money. The people who, when you need a sitter because of something very important, they're like, okay, like, I'll babysit your baby or something like that. Like, you just got to know who those people are, because they are priority in your life. Like, those relationships are priority. You need to also try to be there for them. You need to see what they want, what's important to them, because you want to continue to foster those relationships. So, I mean, regardless of what your position is, everybody's situation is different. So sometimes, why do you want my piece of paper. Come here. This is what mornings with Mari is like, y'all. Sometimes he just fussy. Ain't that right? You know, sometimes he's fussier than others, so I will have to adjust. It's that simple. Like, you have to be flexible. You can't say, I don't care, this is what I'm doing. Now, sometimes I do have to have that discipline when it comes to my schoolwork and say, like, Kamari, you're fine, you're fed, you're changed, you ate. And so I gotta get done what I gotta get done. You know, sometimes you have to do that, but for the most part, you have to be flexible. So yeah, know who your support is. Know who the people are that are there for you regardless, unconditionally. What's important to them should be important to you, period. Y'all, he's teething, so. Okay. We've been giving them like Tylenol. They have like little Orajel and stuff for babies. So I might give him some of that. So going back to knowing your support, everyone's situation is different. You may be a single mama. You may be married. You may live with your mom as you're raising your child. Like literally, everybody has different support systems. And what I say is just take what you have, sis. Like whatever you have, whoever you have, use them. Show them that you love them and appreciate them. Try to get more people to be supportive. You know, well, of course you don't want to press anybody to support you, but of course there are people who are willing to support, but they're waiting for you to ask them. So the bigger your support system is, the more you can, you know, rotate who's helping you with your baby, giving you money, helping you take care of your things, and everything won't be dumped onto one person or to one family, you know? But the point is, use whatever you have. Don't say, oh, I'm not married, so it's just me and I'm feeling bad for myself. There's somebody who's there for you. There's somebody who's there for you. So maximize on your support. Love them. Appreciate them. Whatever's important to them, make it important to you because you need them. Lastly, stop guilt tripping, sis. Stop guilt tripping. Like, I spent the first 6 months just being guilty, you know, saying, what if I did this differently? What if I changed something? Having regrets for the timing that I did everything. And it's just a waste of time. Like, you're not accomplishing anything. You have to forgive yourself. You have to let go of whatever circumstance brought you to where you are. Whatever situation got you there. You have to... Honestly, I don't know any better way to do this than a relationship with God. Coming to God and asking him to just wrap his arms around you, to give you healing, to allow you to let go of what could have been, let go of what happened, let go of whatever situation you had with your baby dad. Like, you have to give yourself that freedom to do that, because if not, you're going to be carrying that weight. If not, you're the one that's going to be bound, and it's going to affect every single area of your life. It's going to affect how you parent your child, how you view your child. You know, you may see your child from the lens of your baby dad and not be able to love him or her fully because you see that and you see that relationship. And I know that causes a lot of tension between the mother and the father. And, you know, that's where custody battles come from. That's where real nasty situations in family court come from. Sometimes when the mom isn't able to truly like allow that part of herself to heal, wherever your baby dad falls short or whatever he does not do, you have to just accept that. You have to accept it. I know this topic may be a little bit difficult for some people to hear or to just process, but I think a lot of times like our anger and our bitterness and resentment affects everything. It affects our parents, and it affects how we are able to work with our baby dad as far as the arrangements for our child. The first 2-3 months, you know, Jerry and I were co-parenting, so I understand the difficulties in that. So I'm just saying, you know, I think it starts with you. It starts with going through that healing process, going to God, forgiving yourself so that you can forgive others. And once you do that, it'll just change your perspective for parenting. It'll change the way that you view your child, the way that you view your situation, how you take your situation, take the broken pieces of it, and maximize it where you still are a bomb woman of God, where you still are a bomb queen, where you still are able to thrive out here. You can't do that if you're guilt tripping and throwing a pity party every single day. So I have to go to church, but I just wanted to give a few tips for finding balance as a mama. Kamari being fussy today, I think, though I don't like that he's, you know, in pain from teething, I think that it was a good depiction of what it's like. Like, I have an agenda, I want to do this video, but my child needs me as well, so I had to find balance within that, you know. And that's life. That's the life of a mama. So yeah, I would say if you know somebody who's a single mom, if you know somebody who's a new mother, be there for them, be their support, love them, show them that you're there for them, because they need you. Whether they ask you or not, they need you. All right, y'all, so thank you for journeying with Jazz. This is Sunday Mornings with Mari, how to find balance with the baby, and hopefully I can see y'all soon. You got your soother? Your soother, Pinky? Let him see it. Casa. Guess what Ducky said? Ducky said. Quack. Welcome to Mornings with Mari. Mornings with Mari. Shake. All right, let's show them how you bounce. Bounce. Go boot. Break it down. Go. Take mommy.